Have you ever thought about why you're not happy or why you aren't happy about certain things? Well, here's the reasoning behind it. We're not happy about certain things because we see something better. We think there's something better, or we know there's something better, or we've seen something better, that there's a better life, there's a better way. So we get annoyed, we get pissed off, and we complain and we blame, and guess what? That becomes a running story inside of our mind. And that doesn't solve it. I mean, there's two perspectives. We can blame and complain, or we can get up and do something about it. So I remember when I was growing up, there was a guy that was homeless in my town, and I would see him all the time walking up and down the streets, and he's wearing all sorts of, layers in the wintertime to stay warm. And I was thinking to myself, like, why does this guy live like this? Why does he have to, go to use the washroom in the library? Why would he choose to live like this? I kept wondering, is he happy? And, and then at one point I went to my barber's and I saw him there. And the barber, Mike the barber, was giving this homeless guy some food and some drink and, letting him warm up inside. And I was thinking to myself, why is he living like this? And then after he left, I did ask the barber, I asked Mike about this guy, and he said, well, you know what? This guy was successful. This guy had a great life. He had all the things he wanted, but then something tragic happened in his life. He lost somebody, and he decided that he wanted to live a simple life. He wanted to live on the streets instead of living like everybody else does and having a house and a mortgage and all sorts of responsibilities and so on. He didn't want that. That's what he chose. And so he chose to live a life on the streets, but he's still happy. And even though, there's days when, he's not going to smell so good and he's not going to feel so good, overall he's happy. But that's his perspective. And that's respectable. I mean, if you think about it, somebody can be homeless and on the streets and still feel happy. Most of us have way more things and way better lives and more comfort, yet we're not happy. And it's because of what I said at the beginning. We think that there's something better. We know there's something better. We've seen something better. We probably watch television. We see that there's a better life. I mean, television is not a great example of a better life, but that's what we're seeing. And so because we have relevance and we're comparing, that's why we're not happy. But guess what? We can stay in this vicious loop of not being happy, being a victim, and saying, I don't know how to get that, and that little voice inside of our head saying, I don't know how to do this. I'm not sure how to figure this out. I don't know what to do next. This is hard. All these little voices, these little words inside your head, and if you take them and write them down, at least you'll have them on a piece of paper, and you'll be able to see what you're saying to yourself. Because when you realize those words that you're saying to yourself, that's what's keeping you unhappy. That's what stops you from being happy. When you worry, that's negative goal setting. Wouldn't you agree? So worrying is negative goal setting. And so if you worry about things, you're basically predicting a horrible future, something disastrous, instead of thinking about a future that's prosperous and something that you will enjoy. And so when you do that, you create a pattern of thought, you create patterns that happen around you, you infect people around you and things around you with your worry. And that stops you from living a full and happy life and a freedom lifestyle. And right now, more than ever, we are in survival mode, because when you're worrying and doubting and you're uncertain about the future, you are in survival mode. And right now, people don't know what to do, what to think, what to look forward to. And so because of that, you're not living a free life, are you? You're doubting, worrying, concerned, and if you get caught into that cycle, then you're not going to be able to think clearly about what you want. So there is a solution to this, and it's not easy, because the pain of change is not fun, and everybody's going through this change right now. We all are. So if you're going to go through this pain of change and come out at the other end feeling good, you have to do some picturing of a better future. Because right now the future doesn't look great. It looks like there's a lot of stuff going wrong, and especially with the media, it looks like things are not going to get any better. But why trust the media? Trust your own mind, trust your intuition, trust your own inner guidance. Look forward to what you want. Picture that. Look into your own future and think about what you want, because worry and doubt is always going to be there. It's there. It's there, to shock you into awareness, but you don't need to do that. What you can do is focus your attention on what you want and act like you already have it, which takes quite a bit of effort sometimes, because you're going to look at your reality and say, this isn't true, I don't have these things, it's not possible, I don't know how, and you get caught up in figuring out how. And I tell you, don't get caught up in how. There's always somebody who's done the thing you want to do or need to do, and all you need to do is ask who. So take how, put that H, swap the W and put it in front of the H, make it who. Who has done this before? Who can I follow? Who can I study? Who can I learn from? Who knows how to solve this problem? And who is living the lifestyle that I'd like to live right now? And if you'll do that, then you'll get out of the cycle of worry and doubt and have a freedom lifestyle. Fear has been here for a long time. And most people live in fear. There's enough research and stats on it that shows that people are living in fear. So I'll give you an example, and it's not just people without money. I mean, people who don't have a lot of money are chasing money, and they're fearing not being able to live. They fear their survival. That's what people who don't have a lot of money fear. But then people who have a lot of money also fear bankruptcy. I work with these people. They fear having all their money taken away from them, all their comforts taken away. It's literally no different. It's just that there's more to lose. They have all these things set up and all these, comforts, their home and, sauna and all these kinds of things. They have all these luxuries and they're just not willing to let them go. But they're still fearful. So 5 emotions in our mind, one of them is fear, and that's what most people are living on. So if you were to move towards the other end of the spectrum, which is faith, how would you do that? Because stress isn't going to do it. Stress is just fear internalized. Stress is just us making up things about our future because it's uncertain. Well, guess what? You can make your future anything you want. You can create your own circumstances. You get to choose. You might be saying, well, yeah, that's a bunch of BS. You can't make your own future. Well, you absolutely can. You design it, you decide what you like. The life you're living right now was created in your mind and you believed it and you are accepting it now. There's nothing new about that. So instead of letting fear, which is controlling most everybody, control you, you have to get into your future thinking. You have to think about your future, think about what you want, think about what makes you feel good every day. You have to be consistent about it. You have to have a PhD, pig-headed discipline, and determination to move ahead and move through this fear. I mean, fear is like the fog you're seeing this morning. It's invisible and it's intangible and you're trying to organize it, and it's pretty scary at times. I can totally attest to that. But you have more control than you think you do, and you can take control just by focusing on what you want, not thinking about the uncertainty of things going wrong, because that is going to take you down and that's not going to help you at all. So think about it a little bit. Think about what I'm saying here and know that you're not alone. Everybody is in the same boat as you and I, except you and I know better because we just talked about this. Now you know what fear is, you know what you can do, and you can start designing your life and focusing on what you want and let the stress go. Don't stress about things that aren't real, and let the small things go. Please don't even focus your attention on that. Well, what is inspiration? It's feeling good inside. Thoughts moving through our body. That's when we feel good. That's what feelings are. So how do you get inspired? How do you have thoughts going through your body that cause you to feel good? Well, first of all, if you inspire somebody else, you do something that causes other people to feel good about themselves, then you feel inspired. You know what I'm talking about. If you do something great for somebody and you feel like you've given them something of real value and an idea, or just words of encouragement, or maybe a gift, and they feel good. And so they feel good and you feel good, you feel inspired. That's the easiest way to get inspired, is to do something for somebody else. Inspiration comes from the inside, not from the outside, but when you inspire somebody else, then you feel good about yourself and you feel inspired. So it's all about finding that energy inside of you and doing whatever it takes. Sometimes it's words, sometimes it's gifts. We all have love languages. There's 5 love languages. So we all have these love languages. So what is yours? Do you like to hear words of validation? Do you like to hear thanks from people? Do you like to receive gifts? So find out, and the easiest thing to do for the people that are closest to you is to find out what inspires them. And sometimes it's words, sometimes it's quotes, sometimes it's a gift. And so if you can find out what that is, then you can give them what they desire the most, and then you feel inspired. So what I'm saying is that you have to think about what you can do for somebody else, because today there's a lot of things going on. I mean, you might be depressed, or people might be depressed and upset, and there's a lot of things to point the fingers at and blame and cry and get upset. But also there's lots of opportunities for inspiration. There's lots of opportunities for things to appreciate. And when you think about it like that, then you start taking a different perspective on the world, like these beautiful geese and ducks behind me here today. These are things that if we just take for granted, then we don't recognize. And by the way, something that I do every day, I send my clients a quote. I send them a nice inspirational quote. I know I'm sending them something really good out. They'll respond back, give me a thumbs up or a like or a comment back. So that's something that is an inspiration that I'm doing every single day, just to give them a boost, give them something that they might haven't thought about before. So, and by the way, if you have an inspirational quote, post it below. Let me know what it is, or an inspirational thought. Post it below, comment below, and let me know. I'll read them later today, and I'll comment on all of them. So let me know what your inspirational quotes are, or inspirational thoughts are today, and I will quote on, or I'll comment on that. So once again, inspiration comes from the inside out. So it's not about you doing something that you love or something like that in the world. That could inspire you, but just do something for somebody else, and that will make a huge difference in the world. And you'll soon find out that they're going to reflect that back to you. They'll be happy, and then you'll have good feelings, good thoughts going through your body, and that will create you good feelings inside of you. And that's how you get inspired. Have you thought about how you can keep your energy high? Do you get up in the morning with lots of energy, lots of excitement for the day, lots of passion and purpose for your day? Most of us don't. And here's the reason being. If you think about it for a moment, you're getting up, and whatever's been going on the day before, or the week before, the months before, that's what's going through your mind, and that's how your day is going to go. I mean, reflect on this for a moment. When you were young and you had a field trip, like a school field trip, you woke up in the morning and you were excited for the day because it was unpredictable. You haven't been to this place before. It's a field trip. It's a new experience. So it's exciting. It's invigorating. And you got up before anybody else in the house and you were ready to go. Why? Because it's not predictable. But everything that's going on in your life right now is predictable because you're reflecting on what you know, your experiences. And when you get up in the morning, you're like, more of that. Not too exciting. More of the same stuff that happened the days before, yesterday, last week, month before, more of the same, right? Nothing exciting. So the key here is that you can make it exciting. You can make your life less predictable. You can choose what you want to go on. Because what's happening here is we have a huge hard drive in our mind that's storing all this information, and it's running the show. It has no sense of direction, but it's running the show because it's based on memories, past experiences. But you can get up in the morning, get up early if you like to. I love getting up early and doing some practice, thinking about the things that I want, focusing on the day, thinking about the possibilities, the opportunities that are coming my way. You can do that, and you can take hold of your day and your energy. Because if you don't, guess what? It's going to be a replay. It's going to be a replay of all the stuff that you did yesterday, the day before. Because we are about, let's say, 70,000 thoughts per day. We have about 70,000 thoughts per day. They're pretty much the same as yesterday. It's all habit-based. Everything that you do is repeated over and over and over again, and it's the same stuff. That's the problem. You need to make your life less predictable. You need to unpredict your day by setting intentions. So here's what you can do. Simple practice is have intentions for the day. If you like writing, best time is to write your intentions for tomorrow, tonight. And then you get up in the morning, you review them, you see what your intentions are, what you want to happen, and you predict what you want to happen. Whether it can happen or not, don't question it. Just predict what's going to happen. And at the end of each day, you can ask yourself and journal if you like to write, what happened today? What happened that brought these predictions to life? Because you can do that. You have that kind of power. I've been doing this for months, and you can do it too. And when you start to do that, your life becomes less predictable, and then you start to see things show up, the right people show up, the best opportunities for appreciation show up. And then you start living a different life. Then you have more energy. Then you can get out of bed. It doesn't have to be mind over mattress, right? You get out of bed. Why? Because you're excited for the day. You're excited for what's to come, and you are motivated. Then you have total power over your life and your energy, and you start to see things differently.